So if you're out there building with AI, you've probably felt this weird disconnect, right? The job titles, they say one thing, but the actual work, well, that's a whole different story. Today, we're going to unpack that critical shift, from just writing prompts to actually engineering intelligent systems.
There's this little identity crisis happening in tech right now. And you know what? It all kicks off with the job description. I saw one the other day that just perfectly captures the chaos. So get this, it's a job posting for a prompt engineer, but it also asks for expertise in distributed systems, API design, MLOps, security, and even product management. I mean, that's a huge list of skills for just one person. It's almost impossible.
Let's just be real for a second. That's not one job. You're basically looking for an entire engineering department crammed into one job title. It's kind of funny, actually.
But here's the twist, and this is the really important part. The job posting isn't actually wrong about the skills you need. It's just got a really bad name. Building AI agents that actually work in the real world isn't about crafting clever sentences anymore. It's all about engineering real, robust systems.
Okay, so to really get our heads around this shift, we need a new way to think about it. And I think this analogy just nails it. We need to think about the difference between a chef and a cook.
Think about it. A cook, they follow a recipe, right? They execute instructions. That's kind of like the prompt engineer. But a chef understands the entire kitchen. They get the ingredients, the systems, the workflow, and, most importantly, they know how to improvise when stuff goes sideways. That's the agent engineer. The recipe, the prompt, that's just the starting line. We want to be the chef.
So what does it actually take to be a chef of AI agents? We're about to break down the 7 essential skills that make up the Agent Engineer's Toolkit. These are the things that'll actually take you from a cool demo to a real-world production system. All right, first up, this one is the absolute foundation for everything else we're going to talk about. Seriously, without this, the whole thing falls apart.
So, skill number 1, system design. See, an agent isn't just one thing. It's more like an orchestra of all these different parts. You've got LLMs, tools, databases, maybe even little sub-agents. System design is the art of making them all play together in harmony. It's about architecture and data flow. At the end of the day, agents aren't magic. They're software, and good software needs a solid structure.
Okay, let's jump to the second essential skill. Because once you've got that structure, you have to make sure every single part works with laser-like precision.
And that brings us to tool and contract design. Your agent has to interact with the world through tools, and every single tool needs a contract that is crystal clear. If that contract is even a little bit vague, the LLM is going to fill in the gaps with its own imagination. And trust me, the last thing you want is the LLM's imagination running wild when it's handling, say, a financial transaction. Precision is everything here. All right, skill number 3. Now this one is a big deal because it pretty much sets the performance ceiling for your entire agent.
We're talking about retrieval engineering. Most agents you see in production are using RAG, Retrieval Augmented Generation. Basically, you're grabbing relevant information to give the model some context. And the quality of the stuff you pull back is just absolutely critical. You know the old saying, garbage in, garbage out? The model has no idea your context is bad. It just does the best it can with what you hand it. And this is where it gets really interesting, right? This isn't just one thing. You've got to think about document chunking, and you got to get that size just right. Not too big, not too small. Then there's choosing the right embedding models, making sure concepts that mean the same thing are actually grouped together. And finally, you have re-ranking to push the absolute best, most relevant results right to the top. It's a whole discipline in and of itself. Okay, for skill number 4, we're going to pull a classic, time-tested engineering discipline right into the middle of this new AI world. And that is reliability engineering. Look, here's the reality. Your agents are making API calls. And guess what? APIs fail. All the time. Networks time out, services crash. Your agent has to be tough enough to handle the messy, unpredictable world of the internet.
So, what do? We have to pull out the classic back-end engineering playbook. This means you're implementing things like retry logic with exponential backoff, setting timeouts so your agent doesn't get stuck waiting forever, figuring out fallback paths, a plan B for when things go wrong, and using circuit breakers to stop one failure from taking down the whole system.
Okay, next up is a skill that is, and I mean this, absolutely non-negotiable. If your system interacts with users at all, you just can't skip this.
So skill number 5 is security and safety. Think of it this way. Your agent is an attack surface. People are absolutely going to try to mess with it, using things like prompt injection to hide malicious instructions inside their user input. So you need defenses, right? Things like input validation, output filters, and really clear permission boundaries that limit what the agent is even allowed to try to do. All right, skill number 6. This one is all about moving away from just gut feelings and guesswork and getting into a really rigorous, data-driven process.
And I love this quote because it just nails it. You cannot improve what you cannot measure. Because look, your agent is going to break. It's not if, it's when. And when it does, you've got to know why.
And that is where evaluation and observability come in. You need tracing to see a step-by-step replay of exactly what your agent did. You need evaluation pipelines with automated tests. Because saying, it feels better now, that is not a deployment strategy. Vibes don't scale, metrics do.
And that brings us to our final skill, number 7. Now, this one isn't about code or architecture, but you know what? It might just be the most important one for building an agent that people actually love to use.
We are talking about product thinking. Your agent is built to help a human. So you've got to be asking yourself questions like, when should the agent ask for help? When should it just give up and escalate to a human? How do you build trust in a system that you know is going to be a little unpredictable? This is all about designing the experience for the person on the other side.
Ooh, okay, that was a lot, right? 7 pretty big skills. But here's the good news. You don't have to become an expert in all of these overnight. Let's do a quick recap, and then we'll talk about how you can start putting this stuff into practice, like today.
So just think of this as your new complete skill stack. It all starts with system design for that solid foundation. Then you add tool design for precision. You feed it context with retrieval and make it tough with reliability. You protect it with security, you improve it with evaluation, and you wrap it all up with product thinking for the user. That's your agent engineering toolkit.
So where do you even begin? How do you start? Here are 2 simple, concrete things you can do. First, go clean up one of your tool schemas. Make it absolutely airtight with strict types and clear examples. This is probably the single highest leverage fix for most agents. Second, the next time something fails, trace it. Don't just go back and tweak the prompt. Dig into the system and find the real root cause. Because 9 times out of 10, it's the system, not the words.
So what's the big takeaway here? It means we're at this incredible turning point. The job title is changing because the work itself is fundamentally changing. And the people who learn to adapt, who build these core engineering skills, they're the ones who are going to build the future of AI.